It was an ordinary day, just like any other. People were busy with their lives, unaware that the world as they knew it was about to change forever. In cities, cars honked impatiently in traffic jams, while office workers typed away at their computers, checking emails and attending meetings. In rural areas, farmers worked under the warm sun, tending to crops or feeding livestock. Children laughed and played in parks, chasing each other around swings and slides. Life moved on as usual, until the sky cracked open. At first, no one noticed anything unusual. A faint hum filled the air, so soft that most people dismissed it as the wind or distant thunder. But then the sound grew louder, deeper, almost vibrating through the ground beneath their feet. Birds stopped chirping, dogs began barking nervously, and even machines seemed to falter for a moment. It was as if the earth itself was holding its breath, waiting for something extraordinary to happen. And then it did. A blinding flash of light erupted from the heavens, brighter than 1,000 suns. It wasn't just a burst of light. It felt alive, pulsating and expanding across the sky. People shielded their eyes, some falling to their knees in awe or terror. When the brightness faded, what remained was beyond comprehension. A massive tear in the sky, stretching wide like a wound in the fabric of reality. Through this rift came shapes too large to believe. Sleek, metallic ships emerged slowly, casting shadows over entire cities. They were enormous, dwarfing skyscrapers and mountains alike. These weren't planes or rockets. These were star destroyers, alien vessels bristling with weapons and glowing with energy. Panic spread faster than wildfire. Phones buzzed non-stop as videos of the ships flooded social media. News anchors frantically tried to make sense of what was happening, their voices trembling as they described the impossible sight above them. Governments scrambled to respond, issuing emergency alerts and mobilizing militaries. Fighter jets took off from bases around the globe, circling the alien ships cautiously. Scientists gathered in labs, analyzing data and trying to understand how such technology could exist. Meanwhile, ordinary people either fled in fear or stood frozen, staring up at the sky in disbelief. But here's the strangest part. The ships didn't attack. They simply hovered there, silent and still, as if observing Earth like curious explorers. There were no laser beams firing down, no explosions shaking the ground. Just silence. This eerie calm only added to the confusion. If these aliens weren't here to invade, then why had they come? What did they want? Rumors began to swirl. Some claimed the ships belonged to gods descending from another dimension. Others believed it was humanity's punishment for years of environmental destruction. Conspiracy theorists insisted the government had known about extraterrestrial life all along and had finally been exposed. Amidst the chaos, one question echoed louder than the rest. Why now? For days, the star destroyers remained suspended above, Earth unmoving. Their presence loomed over every corner of the planet, casting long shadows, both literal and metaphorical. Fear gripped the hearts of millions. Stores ran out of supplies as people hoarded food and water, preparing for the worst. Schools closed, businesses shut down, and streets emptied as families huddled together, praying for answers or mercy. Yet not everyone reacted with fear. In hidden corners of the world, whispers of hope began to spread. Decades earlier, fragments of alien technology had crashed on Earth during mysterious events often dismissed as meteor showers or UFO sightings. Governments had secretly collected these artifacts, studying them in classified facilities. Over time, scientists managed to reverse engineer the technology, creating advanced weapons and spacecraft far beyond anything publicly known. While most of humanity remained oblivious to this secret arsenal, those in power knew the truth. Earth wasn't defenseless. Even so, doubt lingered. Could humanity truly stand against such overwhelming force? Were these alien ships merely scouts for a larger invasion fleet? Or worse, were they here because they discovered Earth's hidden weapons and feared retaliation? As the days passed, the tension grew unbearable. The world waited with bated breath, unsure whether salvation or doom awaited them. Little did anyone know, the real story was only beginning. Somewhere among the chaos, a retired astrophysicist, named Dr. Elias Carter, watched the unfolding drama with a knowing smile. He had helped design Earth's hidden arsenal, and he knew exactly what needed to be done next. The stage was set. Humanity's darkest hour had arrived, but unbeknownst to the terrified masses below, it might also become its finest moment. As the world grappled with fear and uncertainty, a deeper truth lay hidden beneath the surface, one that only a select few knew about. While ordinary people debated whether the alien ships were here to conquer, destroy, or simply observe, governments around the globe scrambled behind closed doors. They weren't defenseless, as many assumed. For decades, humanity had been quietly preparing for this exact moment, though no one could have predicted it would come so soon, or in such a dramatic fashion. The story of Earth's secret arsenal began long before the star destroyers appeared in the sky. It started with strange occurrences that most dismissed as natural phenomena: meteor showers that left behind unusual debris, bright streaks of light zipping across the night sky too, fast to be airplanes but too deliberate to be shooting stars. These events weren't random. They were signs of something far greater. Visits from extraterrestrial beings who, for reasons unknown, had left pieces of their technology scattered across the planet. At first, these fragments were treated as curiosities. Farmers stumbled upon odd metallic objects buried in their fields. Hikers found glowing shards embedded in rocks deep in forests. Scientists examined the materials, baffled by their composition. The metals were unlike anything found on Earth. Lightweight yet incredibly strong, capable of withstanding extreme temperatures without damage. More intriguing was the energy within them. Some pieces emitted faint pulses of light, while others hummed softly, as if alive. It didn't take long for governments to realize the potential of these artifacts. Classified teams were assembled to study the fragments, working in secret facilities hidden from public view. Over time, scientists made breakthrough after breakthrough. By carefully analyzing the alien technology, they learned how to replicate its core components. What began as small experiments eventually grew into massive projects. Weapon systems powered by alien energy sources were developed. Advanced propulsion systems allowed spacecraft to travel faster and farther than ever imagined. And perhaps, most importantly, defensive shields were created, barriers capable of deflecting even the most powerful attacks. But this wasn't just the work of one nation. Governments around the world collaborated in ways never seen before, setting aside rivalries in the face of a shared goal: protecting Earth. The United Nations established a covert division known as the Global Defense Initiative, GDI, tasked with overseeing the development and deployment of Earth's new arsenal. Billions of dollars were funneled into the project, funding research labs, manufacturing plants, and training programs. Entire cities were built underground to house the growing fleet of starships, each designed to rival the best technology the universe had to offer. By the time the alien ships appeared in the sky, Earth's preparations were nearly complete. Dozens of warships stood ready, hidden beneath layers of rock and soil, waiting for the signal to emerge. Their designs were sleek and futuristic, inspired by both human ingenuity and alien innovation. Energy cores glowed softly within their hulls, powering weapon systems capable of leveling entire continents. Pilots trained rigorously, learning to operate the complex machinery with precision and skill. Every detail had been meticulously planned, from communication protocols to battle strategies. Yet despite all this preparation, there was still doubt. Could humanity truly stand against an advanced alien race? The Valith Alliance, as the invaders called themselves, was a coalition of species known for their technological prowess and military might. Their star destroyers were legendary, feared across galaxies for their ability to obliterate planets in seconds. How could Earth possibly compete with such overwhelming power? The answer came not from brute strength but from strategy. Dr. Elias Carter, one of the lead architects behind Earth's arsenal, understood the importance of psychological warfare. He knew that the Valith wouldn't expect resistance from what they believed to be a primitive civilization. This arrogance could be used against them. Instead of launching a full-scale attack right away, Elias proposed a plan to intimidate the aliens into retreating. The idea was simple yet brilliant. Reveal Earth's hidden forces gradually, forcing the Vaylith to question everything they thought they knew about humanity. To execute this plan, GDI operatives worked tirelessly, coordinating efforts across continents. Satellites monitored the alien ships, gathering data on their movements and capabilities. Communication experts attempted to establish contact using frequencies derived from intercepted transmissions. Meanwhile, engineers prepped the dormant warships for activation, ensuring every system functioned flawlessly. Tensions ran high as countdowns ticked closer to zero. Everyone involved knew that failure wasn't an option, not when the fate of the entire planet hung in the balance. Back in his quiet home, Elias watched the news unfold with a mix of pride and trepidation. He saw the fear in people's eyes, the same fear he'd felt years ago when he first realized the scope of the threat humanity faced. But now, instead of despair, he felt determination. The tools were in place, the plans set. All that remained was execution. As he sipped his coffee and stared out the window at the looming alien ships, Elias couldn't help but smile. "Let's see how scared they get," he muttered under his breath. Unbeknownst to the terrified masses below, humanity wasn't the victim in this scenario, it was the predator. And soon, the Vaylith would learn exactly what they were dealing with. Little did anyone know, the next phase of Operation Revelation was already underway. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, engines roared to life as the first of the hidden warships prepared to rise. Pilots strapped into their seats, fingers hovering over control panels. Command centers buzzed with activity as orders were relayed and final checks completed. Within hours, the world would witness something it had never seen before, a display of power so immense that even the mighty Vaylith would tremble. For now, though, the silence continued. The alien ships remained suspended above Earth, watching and waiting. And below, humanity held its breath, unaware that salvation was closer than anyone dared to hope. Elias leaned back in his chair, closing his eyes for a brief moment. When he opened them again, his expression was calm but resolute. "This is our moment," he whispered, almost to himself. "Time to show them what we're made of." The stage was set, the players were in position. All that remained was for the curtain to rise, and when it did, the galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again. While the world trembled beneath the shadow of alien star destroyers, one man remained eerily calm. Dr. Elias Carter lived in a modest house nestled on the outskirts of a quiet town. From the outside, it looked like any other home. White walls, a neatly trimmed garden, and a mailbox that bore his name in faded letters. Inside, however, was a treasure trove of secrets. Shelves lined with dusty books on astrophysics, blueprints scattered across tables, and old telescopes pointed toward. The stars hinted at a mind far ahead of its time. But even those closest to him had no idea just how deeply Elias was connected to the unfolding crisis. Elias wasn't always a recluse. Once, he had been at the forefront of scientific discovery, working alongside the brightest minds in the world. His brilliance earned him respect and suspicion. Governments sought his expertise, offering him positions in top-secret projects. It was during one such assignment that Elias became part of something extraordinary: the development of Earth's hidden arsenal. For decades, he poured his heart and soul into creating weapons and spacecraft capable of defending humanity against threats it didn't yet know existed. But Elias wasn't motivated by glory or ambition. He was driven by fear, a fear born from knowledge others lacked. Years earlier, while analyzing fragments of alien technology, Elias stumbled upon something chilling. Buried within the data were traces of communication signals, faint whispers, from distant parts of the galaxy. These weren't friendly messages, they were warnings. Civilization spoke of a coalition known as the Vaylith Alliance, a group of advanced species notorious for their ruthlessness. Wherever the Vaylith went, destruction followed. Entire planets disappeared without a trace, their populations wiped out in days. Elias knew it was only a matter of time before Earth caught their attention. And when that day came, humanity would need more than prayers to survive. That realization haunted him, pushing him to work harder and faster than anyone else. While others celebrated milestones like breakthroughs in propulsion systems or energy shields, Elias saw them as mere stepping stones toward a larger goal, ensuring humanity could stand toe-to-toe with the universe's greatest threats. Now, as he watched the news coverage of the alien ships hovering above Earth, Elias felt a strange mix of emotions. On one hand, he was proud of what humanity had achieved. The warships buried beneath the planet's surface were a testament to human ingenuity and determination. On the other hand, he couldn't shake the feeling of dread. The Vaylith weren't here because they wanted to negotiate peace. They were here because they feared Earth's potential. If handled poorly, this standoff could escalate into a war humanity might not win, despite its advancements. Elias's phone buzzed incessantly, vibrating against the wooden table where he sat. Calls from government officials, military leaders, and fellow scientists flooded in, each demanding answers or guidance. Yet Elias ignored them all, taking his time to respond. He knew panic wouldn't help anyone. Instead, he focused on what mattered most, understanding the Vaylith's next move. He turned on his computer, pulling up live feeds from satellites monitoring the alien fleet. Their movements were slow and deliberate, almost mechanical. They weren't attacking, but they weren't leaving either. Whatever they were waiting for, Elias suspected it had something to do with Earth's defenses. Perhaps they were scanning for signs of resistance, or testing humanity's resolve. Either way, Elias realized the key to resolving this crisis lay in turning the tables. He picked up the phone and dialed a secure line. "It's time," he said simply when the call connected. There was no need for further explanation. The person on the other end understood immediately. Within minutes, orders were relayed to command centers around the globe. Operation Revelation, the plan Elias had devised years ago, was officially underway. The first step was psychological warfare. Rather than launching a full-scale attack, Elias proposed revealing Earth's hidden forces gradually. The idea was to create an aura of mystery and intimidation, forcing the Vaylith to question everything they thought they knew about humanity. The plan involved showcasing Earth's technological prowess through carefully choreographed displays of power. Every movement, every action, would be calculated to send a clear message. Earth wasn't afraid. As preparations unfolded, Elias reflected on the irony of the situation. For decades, humanity had feared the unknown, imagining aliens as superior beings who viewed Earth as nothing more than prey. Now, the roles were reversed. The Vaylith, accustomed to dominating weaker civilizations, found themselves facing an opponent they couldn't fully comprehend. This uncertainty was their greatest weakness, and Elias intended to exploit it. Back in his living room, Elias switched on the television. News anchors spoke frantically about the alien ships, speculating about their intentions and capabilities. Some called for surrender, believing resistance was futile. Others demanded retaliation, arguing that showing weakness would only embolden the invaders. Amidst the chaos, Elias noticed something telling: the absence of aggression from the Vaylith. "They're scared," he muttered aloud, shaking his head. And they should be. Elias's confidence stemmed not just from Earth's arsenal, but from the unity it represented. For the first time in history, nations had set aside their differences to work toward a common goal. The Global Defense Initiative, GDI, brought together scientists, engineers, and strategists from every corner of the globe. Competing governments shared resources and intelligence, pooling their strengths to create something greater than the sum of its parts. This collaboration was humanity's true weapon, one the Vaylith couldn't possibly understand. As the hours passed, Elias received updates from various teams involved in Operation Revelation. Pilots reported readiness checks complete. Engineers confirmed that all systems were functioning perfectly. Communication specialists prepared broadcasts in multiple languages, including several alien dialects deciphered from intercepted transmissions. Everything was falling into place. Still, Elias couldn't afford to relax. He knew the coming days would test humanity's resolve like never before. The Valith were unpredictable, and their hesitation could turn into hostility at any moment. One misstep, one wrong move could spell disaster. To distract himself, Elias wandered into his backyard. The evening sky glowed orange and pink as the sun dipped below the horizon. Above, the alien ships loomed ominously, casting long shadows over the landscape. Despite their terrifying presence, Elias felt a strange sense of peace. For years, he had carried the weight of Earth's survival on his shoulders. Now, finally, humanity had a fighting chance. A neighbor approached, breaking the silence. "Dr. Carter," the man said hesitantly, "do you think we're doomed?" Elias smiled, faintly, his eyes still fixed on the sky. "Not if I have anything to say about it," he replied. The neighbor nodded uncertainly and walked away, leaving Elias alone with his thoughts. As darkness fell, the stars began to appear, twinkling faintly against the vast expanse of space. Somewhere out there the Valith waited, watching and wondering. Little did they know humanity was ready. And Elias Carter, he was just getting started. The moment humanity had been preparing for finally arrived. Under the watchful eyes of Dr. Elias Carter and the Global Defense Initiative, GDI, Earth began its counterplay, a carefully orchestrated show of power designed to terrify the Valith into retreat. The plan was simple, yet bold. Reveal Earth's hidden arsenal in stages, each step more awe-inspiring than the last. It wasn't just about showing strength. It was about sending a message loud and clear. Earth wasn't afraid. It started with a single warship. Buried deep beneath the Nevada desert, the vessel known as Aegis I lay dormant for decades, waiting for this exact moment. Its sleek metallic hull gleamed under artificial lights inside a massive underground hangar. Engineers performed final checks, ensuring every system functioned flawlessly. Pilots suited up, their faces masks of determination as they climbed aboard. When the order came through, the ground above the facility trembled as hydraulic doors opened, revealing the starry night sky. Slowly, Aegis I ascended, breaking through layers of rock and soil until it emerged into the open air. The sight was breathtaking. The ship was enormous, easily rivaling the alien vessels hovering above Earth. Its surface shimmered with an iridescent glow, powered by energy cores reverse-engineered from alien technology. As it rose higher, cameras captured the spectacle, broadcasting live footage to millions around the globe. People watched in stunned silence as Aegis I positioned itself between Earth and the nearest alien ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then beams of light shot out from the vessel, creating intricate patterns in the sky. These weren't random displays. They were deliberate maneuvers designed to showcase precision and control. The ship moved, with fluid grace, spinning, diving, and accelerating at speeds impossible for conventional aircraft. The Valith fleet reacted immediately. Sensors aboard their ships detected the energy signatures emanating from Aegis I, confirming what they already suspected. Earth possessed technology far beyond what any primitive civilization should have. Their hesitation turned to alarm as they realized the implications. If one such ship existed, how many more were hidden? But Elias wasn't done yet. Within hours, more warships began rising from their underground bunkers. In Siberia, a second vessel named Prometheus broke through ice and snow, its engines roaring to life. In the Sahara Desert, Titanus emerged from beneath dunes, kicking up clouds of sand as it ascended. Each ship added to the growing spectacle, forming a protective barrier around Earth. Together they created a network of defensive shields, glowing faintly as they enveloped the planet in a cocoon of energy. The broadcasts continued non-stop, showcasing the full might of Earth's fleet. News anchors struggled to contain their excitement as commentators marveled at the advanced technology on display. Social media exploded with reactions ranging from disbelief to pride. "Is this real?" one user tweeted. "If so, we're living in a sci-fi movie." Meanwhile, the Valith grew increasingly uneasy. Their own ships paled in comparison to Earth's vessels, not just in size but in capability. Where their weapons relied on brute force, Earth's arsenal demonstrated finesse and innovation. Energy pulses rippled across the shields, deflecting simulated attacks fired by drones. Fighters launched from carrier ships, performing synchronized maneuvers that left even seasoned pilots breathless. Every action reinforced the same message: humanity wasn't bluffing. To drive the point home, GDI initiated the next phase of Operation Revelation. Communication specialists broadcast messages across all frequencies, including those used by the Valith. The transmission was simple but chilling: leave now, or face consequences you cannot comprehend. Translated into multiple languages, including several alien dialects deciphered years earlier, the message echoed throughout space. For added effect, Earth ships performed a coordinated attack simulation. Beams of light streaked across the sky, targeting empty patches of atmosphere. Explosions erupted harmlessly, illuminating the darkness with bursts of color. To anyone watching, it appeared as though Earth's forces were practicing for war. In reality, the demonstration was purely psychological, a calculated attempt to unnerve the invaders. And it worked. On board the Valith flagship, panic spread among the crew. For centuries, they had viewed themselves as apex predators, unstoppable, conquerors feared across galaxies. Now they faced an adversary unlike any they'd encountered before. Not only did Earth possess superior technology, but its ability to coordinate such a massive operation suggested a level of organization and unity rarely seen in other civilizations. The Valith had underestimated their target, and now they paid the price. Elias monitored the situation from his home, keeping tabs on updates via secure channels. His phone buzzed constantly with calls from military leaders praising the success of the operation. Yet Elias remained focused, refusing to celebrate prematurely. He knew the Valith wouldn't retreat without a fight, or at least not without considering their options. They'll make a decision soon, he told himself, pacing back and forth in his living room. They'll either leave or escalate. Either way, we need to be ready. As if on cue, movement was detected among the alien fleet. Several ships shifted positions, clustering closer together as if preparing for battle. Tension mounted worldwide as people braced for the worst. Would this be the moment the aliens struck back? Or would they heed Earth's warning and retreat? Then something unexpected happened. One by one, the Valith ships began moving toward the tear in the sky, the same rift through which they had entered Earth's atmosphere. Their movements were slow and deliberate, almost reluctant. No shots were fired, no threats made. They simply turned away, retreating into the void from whence they came. Cheers erupted across the planet as news of the withdrawal spread. Cities erupted in celebration, with fireworks lighting up the night sky. People hugged strangers, danced in the streets, and cried tears of relief. Humanity had won, not through violence, but through strategy and ingenuity. Elias allowed himself a small smile as he watched the final alien ship disappear into the rift. The crisis was over, for now. But he knew better than to let his guard down. The Valith might have retreated, but they wouldn't forget what they had seen here today. Somewhere out there, they were likely spreading tales of the terrifying blue planet whose skies parted to reveal unstoppable power. And Elias, he intended to make sure they remembered. Good, he whispered softly, leaning back in his chair. Let them remember. For the first time in days, Elias felt a sense of calm wash over him. The weight of responsibility still rested heavily on his shoulders, but for now humanity was safe, and that was enough. Little did he know, the aftermath of this encounter would reshape Earth's future in ways no one could have predicted. The Valith fleet's retreat marked the beginning of a new chapter for humanity, a chapter defined by unity, innovation, and a renewed sense of purpose. As the last alien ship disappeared into the tear in the sky, sealing itself shut behind them, Earth collectively exhaled. For days, celebrations erupted across the globe. Cities lit up with fireworks, streets filled with cheering crowds, and social media buzzed with messages of hope and triumph. Yet beneath the surface-level jubilation lay a deeper transformation, one that would reshape the world forever. Dr. Elias Carter watched the festivities from his quiet home, content to observe rather than participate. The retired astrophysicist had become an overnight hero, hailed as the mastermind behind Earth's defense strategy. News outlets clamored for interviews, governments showered him with accolades, and ordinary citizens called him a savior. But Elias wanted none of it. To him, the victory belonged not to one person but to humanity as a whole. It was proof that when people worked together toward a common goal, they could achieve the impossible. Still, Elias couldn't ignore the ripple effects of what had just transpired. The existence of Earth's advanced arsenal could no longer remain a secret not after millions witnessed starships rise from underground bunkers and perform dazzling displays of power. Governments around the world convened emergency meetings to address the fallout. Transparency became the only viable option. Hiding such monumental truths any longer risked eroding public trust. In a historic joint statement broadcast globally, leaders revealed the truth about Earth's hidden technology. They explained how fragments of alien artifacts had been reverse-engineered over decades, leading to breakthroughs in energy systems, propulsion, and weaponry. These advancements weren't confined to military applications. They promised revolutionary changes in everyday life. Clean energy solutions powered by alien cores could eliminate reliance on fossil fuels. Advanced medical devices derived from alien materials might cure diseases once thought incurable. Transportation networks utilizing faster-than-light travel could connect distant corners of the planet like never before. The announcement sparked a wave of optimism unlike anything seen in generations. People dreamed of a future where poverty, hunger, and conflict were relics of the past. Scientists and engineers raced to adapt alien technology for civilian use, ushering in an era of unprecedented progress. Schools added courses on interstellar science, inspiring young minds to reach for the stars, literally. Artists reimagined humanity's place in the universe, creating works that celebrated resilience and ingenuity. Even skeptics found themselves caught up in the excitement, marveling at the possibilities ahead. But with great power came great responsibility. The revelation forced humanity to confront uncomfortable questions. How should this newfound strength be wielded? Who decided which nations benefited most from alien tech? And perhaps most importantly, how could Earth ensure its defenses remained impenetrable against future threats? To answer these questions, the United Nations established the Global Unity Accord, GUA, a coalition tasked with overseeing the ethical use of alien technology. Representatives from every nation collaborated to draft guidelines aimed at preventing misuse or exploitation. Resources were distributed equitably, prioritizing regions most in need. Military oversight shifted focus from conquest to protection, ensuring Earth's forces served as guardians rather than aggressors. Elias played a key role in shaping the GUA's policies, offering insights gained from years of working on classified projects. He advocated for transparency, urging leaders to involve citizens in decision-making processes. This isn't just about governments, he argued during closed-door sessions. It's about all of us. Humanity succeeded because we stood united. Let's keep that spirit alive. His words resonated deeply, galvanizing efforts to foster global cooperation. Nations that had long been adversaries set aside old grudges, recognizing the futility of division in the face of cosmic challenges. Borders began to blur as collaborative initiatives flourished. Joint space exploration programs launched probes to nearby planets searching for signs of extraterrestrial life or potential dangers. Defensive networks expanded beyond Earth's atmosphere, safeguarding the solar system from hostile incursions. Amidst these developments, Elias returned to his quiet life, finding solace in routine. He spent his days tinkering with telescopes, writing papers, and mentoring young scientists eager to learn from the man who helped save the world. Though he avoided the spotlight, his influence lingered. Stories of his brilliance inspired countless others to pursue careers in science and engineering. His name became synonymous with courage and vision, A reminder that even in humanity's darkest hour, there were those willing to fight for a brighter tomorrow. Yet Elias never forgot the lessons of the crisis. He often reflected on the fragility of peace and the importance of vigilance. Somewhere out there, the Valith were likely regrouping, sharing tales of their encounter with Earth. Would they return someday, emboldened by reinforcements or driven by revenge? Or would they spread warnings to other civilizations, painting humanity as a force to be reckoned with? These thoughts kept Elias grounded, reminding him that complacency was humanity's greatest enemy. The same determination that had saved Earth must now guide its future. Progress couldn't stop here. It had to continue, evolving and adapting to meet whatever challenges lay ahead. One evening, as Elias gazed up at the stars through his telescope, he felt a profound sense of gratitude. The universe was vast and mysterious, full of wonders and dangers alike. But for the first time in history, humanity wasn't just staring at the cosmos. It was reaching out, ready to claim its place among the stars. Good, Elias whispered softly, a faint smile playing on his lips. Let them remember, and remember they would. Across galaxies yet unexplored, stories of Earth's defiance would echo, serving as both a warning and an inspiration. Humanity had proven that even the smallest spark of hope could ignite a fire strong enough to light the way forward. As Elias turned off his telescope and headed inside, he paused briefly to glance back at the night sky. The stars twinkled brightly, their light carrying whispers of infinite possibilities. For the first time in a long while, Elias felt truly at peace. The world had changed forever, and so had he.